Today I'm happy to welcome to the show Bryan Reynolds, founder of the Butterflies of the World Foundation. Well, Bryan, can you tell us a bit about the foundation and what your mission is?
Well, we go around to schools, museums, libraries, and clubs like Audubon groups and Sierra clubs and give presentations on butterflies and butterfly conservation.
And what are some of the tips you have for butterfly enthusiasts about conserving these?
Well, we emphasize things people can do in their day-to-day lives that both directly and indirectly benefit butterflies and then therefore themselves.
Okay, so what are some things that directly affect the butterflies?
Well, such as your beautiful garden here, we emphasize planting larval and nectar food sources for butterflies.
And that's important to point out. A lot of the butterflies will feed on a variety of flowers, but larvae tend to be a little more specific.
Yes, that's one thing I tell people. If they really want to increase the amount of butterflies in their garden, don't just think about the nectar and the adults on the flowers. Also think about what the caterpillars like to eat. So if you plant some larval food plants, you'll get a lot more butterflies.
Yeah, and you have to put up with a little bit of damage on those plants
yes,
too.
That's true, especially passion vine.
Other things we could do to attract butterflies to the landscape?
Yes, if you have any woods on your property, there's a lot of woodland species here in Oklahoma, and they love rotting fruit trays, bananas, watermelons, apple peels, things like that.
All right, I could put out those old bananas that I don't want.
Yes.
Well, here in Oklahoma, how many different butterfly species have been identified?
Well, they've found so far 194 of them.
That's impressive.
But only about 80% of them are regulars.
Yeah, I figure we don't see them all commonly.
No, some of them you only see in the Panhandle or the east side or whatever.
And then there's a seasonal variation as well?
Yes, there's always a new group of butterflies depending on the time of the year. Currently this spring we have some nice fresh ones coming out that you only see in the spring. So they'll be out for about 2 or 3 weeks, and then you'll have to wait till next year again to see them.
Okay, well, what are some of those species that are active now?
Well, there's a few that overwinter as adults.
Okay.
And some of those would be like the mourning cloak, the question mark, eastern comma, some of the sulfurs.
Where might we find them in the landscape if we go out hunting?
Some of those, well, the sulfurs are out all over the place right now. Any kind of fields with flowers growing. The woodland species like the mourning cloak, question marks, they'll be along the edges of the woods and they'll come out and say hi to you. They kind of like people.
There's another group that will overwinter when we have a mild winter, correct?
Yes.
Like this year.
Yep, very mild winter, so it doesn't kill off some of the species that can't tolerate the cold as well. So the ones that were alive in the fall will also be around now this spring, such as the painted ladies, other species of sulfurs, red admirals.
Okay, and those are ones we'll see feeding on nectar on our flowers?
Yes, they'll definitely be on the first nectar flowers you have in your gardens, even dandelions.
Some of our spring weeds.
Yes.
The last group are butterflies that spend the winter as a pupa, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Some of those are just now coming out. In fact, yesterday I was out and I saw some beautiful Henry's elfins on the redbuds.
Okay, and our redbuds you live a little bit farther south, so ours are behind, but they're going to be coming on pretty soon.
Yes, they're about ready just to burst open with color. And these butterflies, the caterpillars eat the leaves of the redbuds, and then also the adults love the nectar. So they're not found very far away from a redbud tree. But if you have a redbud, please look, and they're about the size of your thumbnail.
Okay, well, we'll have to be on the lookout for those. I forgot to mention earlier that you have a passion for photography.
Yes.
And have some wonderful photographs on your website. It's a great resource.
Thank you.
People can visit that to learn more about the different species that we have here in Oklahoma. And I'm really excited this season to partner with you.
Me too.
And we'll have you back throughout the summer so that we can see what's active at different times of the year.
Every time should be a new group of butterflies for us to enjoy.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.